What is going on, everybody out here? How's everybody doing out here today on this beautiful Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in. Come one, come all. If you could do me a huge favor, smack that like button here on your way in. How's everybody doing out here today on this lovely Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen? We're here to talk about the Arizona Cardinals. Just a chill stream, nothing too crazy, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we're here. We're still grinding it away. We're still talking about our favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals, and we're all hoping that we're going to be getting the best offseason that we've seen in quite some time. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But big shout out here to the people that are currently in the chat. We got Classy. We got Raphael. What's up, everybody? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Obviously, huge shout out here to the sponsors of the Arizona Sports Fan here this offseason. We got Underdog Fantasy. If you're looking for a daily fantasy, go ahead and check out Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code AZSF, and you will be getting an initial deposit match of up to $100, as well as we do got a new sports book that is sponsoring the Arizona Cardinal or the Arizona Sports Fan, and that is going to be Desert Diamond Sports. And yes, that is the casino here locally in Phoenix, Arizona. So check everything out here in the description below. What's up, Julio? What's up, the same damn? What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing out here today? Yo, we're just gonna have a chill stream today. Nothing too crazy. Probably gonna be about 20-30 minutes. Nothing too crazy. I just want to kind of dive into here and talk about the possibilities of what the Arizona Cardinals can do this offseason, right? With so many different holes, it's crazy to find ourselves in the situation that we are in right now, but there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of excitement for this Arizona Cardinal organization, just kind of moving forward and figuring out what we can do to kind of, make this process fast, because we've already lived through two straight, man. We lived through two straight 4-win seasons, and it's been rough. It has been. And I have noticed that the Arizona Cardinal fan base right now is probably as low energy as I've seen it in quite some time. So I don't blame y'all. I really, really don't blame you guys. And I understand there's some people out there that are not high on Kyler Murray and his future. Completely understand that. And I understand that there's the people on the other side of it all, right? Where people are like, just build around him, right? There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of unknowns with this Arizona Cardinal organization. And I'm right there with you. I'm never one to be too high, and too low. Obviously, in the season, things can get a little exciting, right? But I understand it. Where we are at right now in this organization, it's pretty rough to be excited, but obviously, we got a second year of Monti Ossenfort. We got a second year of this new regime. And if they're excited, and it seems like the players are pretty excited about kind of moving forward, honestly, all we can really do as a fan base is kind of jump on the train and see exactly what happens, right? Pray to the football gods, cross every toes and every fingers we possibly can, and see what they can do in this offseason, because this offseason needs to be absolutely massive for the Cardinals to be in contention, to be competitive. And here's the thing. I don't think, when I speak to Cardinal fans, I don't think any of them are really thinking the Cardinals are going to be Super Bowl caliber team this year. But what we're really kind of expecting is obviously sniffing the playoffs or even making the playoffs, right? We got a franchise quarterback in Kyler Murray. So there shouldn't be anything holding the Cardinals back. Now, obviously, the biggest X factor in terms of what's going to hold the Cardinals back is the idea that the Cardinals don't do anything this offseason. And honestly, that's going to be something very disappointing because I don't expect the Cardinals to sit on their hands, or at least I hope not, right? As a fan perspective, I want them to come out here and be very, very uber aggressive and bring in the right guys to make our team better. We're tired, man. We're tired of the 4-win seasons. We've been through that with Cliff Kingsbury. We've been that with the first year of Jonathan Gannon. And although there's excitement about 2024, I could understand the pessimisms out there, right? The people that are pessimistic about the Cardinals organization, or that feel like the Cardinals can never get it right. I feel your guys' pain. I'm right there with you. There's always that thought behind my mind of, man, when are we going to finally get it right? Like I said earlier, all we can do at this very moment is jump on the train and let's see exactly what we do this offseason. Now, if we take a look at the Arizona Cardinals roster, I don't think it's a surprise that most people really feel that we need to absolutely upgrade this roster. Like, honestly, I think for the most part, most of you subscribers that are subscribed here to the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, you guys know, right? I think I kind of hammer it in the thoughts or the idea of kind of, where we are at in the state of the Cardinals at. And just looking at the roster right now, man, this whole season that we've been dealing with is just injury after injury. We were just dealing with so much yuckiness. IR every week. It felt like the Cardinals were putting somebody on IR. It was just wild to kind of see what type of offseason we're having. Now, just take a look at this roster real quick, right? Like every position almost kind of feels like there was somebody placed on IR, right? DJ Humphries, a big focal piece in the last game, put on IR. Marquise Hollywood Brown was never healthy throughout the year. We got a couple people here on the center position. John Gaines was a rookie. He was put on IR before the season started. LJ Collier, which was a first round pick from the Seahawks, we picked him up, and he had a pretty decent a pretty decent season for the Cardinals. He was placed on IR. Jonathan Letter was probably the best interior defensive lineman we had, and he was placed on IR. Dante Stills, a rookie, looked pretty good. He was placed on IR. Kazir White, Josh Woods. It's just, it never ceased to amaze me how bad this season was pertaining to just injuries and how bad this roster was not prepared, right? Now, we've said this before in terms of the Cardinals, we got to give credit to where credit is due, right? Monti Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon, there's only so much you can do from a 1-year rebuild, or at least 1 year into the rebuild, right? Their main focus was on the idea of bringing people in that's going to be able to fit the mold, right? And we're not talking about people that has ultra egos, right? And we're talking about obviously your DeAndre Hopkins of the world, right? And it's funny because I remember very specifically when Monti Ossenfort ended up coming out and saying, we're not going to be accepting any egos, right? Egos are going to be checked out the door. Most people's mindset was going to, oh boy, here we go. Kyler Murray is going to need to be put in check. Kyler Murray wasn't the problem, or apparently, right? It doesn't seem like there was very much of a, kind of a friction, anything between Kyler and the new regime. It probably was all standing from, not having DeAndre Hopkins, it basically being all in, because there was a story or a report that came out that said that DeAndre Hopkins somehow didn't really feel like he needed to practice. And obviously, if you're not holding everybody accountable or everybody to the same level of, what's the word, right? Kind of trying to be great with each other, it's just not going to work, right? You're seeing a lot of people look at, these star players, and you expect them to be held to be accountable as well, regardless of how much they're getting paid compared to this guy. So, it was, at the end of the day, it needed to happen. I understand I put a video out there and I was like, oh man, this is the last thing I want to see the Cardinals do. But, we're here right now. It's obvious in terms of why we weren't as explosive in offense as we were, because we got rid of arguably the best player, right? The best player on this roster, and that's DeAndre Hopkins. But obviously, he didn't have too great of a season with the Titans, but the rest is history. But like I've said this before, this last offseason, man, it's just I wasn't a big fan, but I get it now, right? 1 year into it, I understand now there was so much dead money that need to be kind of cleaned up, and now we're kind of seeing what hopefully is set up to be what the Cardinals need to do this next offseason. Now, to me, I'm not going to be accepting anything more than we need to be upgrading multiple positions in this offseason, right? Now, if we're taking a look here at this roster for the Arizona Cardinals, it's very, very bad. It is very, very bad. Obviously, Kyler Murray's coming back, and I'm excited about that. Let's see what happens, right? Hopefully, he can be healthy for the entirety of the year. We got James Conner and then Michael Carter. I like Michael Carter. I do like Amari DeMarcado too, but Michael Carter adds a different level of type of running back, right? And that's obviously when you're getting your James Conner and Michael Carter together. James Conner and Michael Carter. They're two different types of running back. So I'm cool with the running back position, but I still do want the Arizona Cardinals to potentially draft somebody in the third round because we do got 3 third-round picks. So that would be kind of cool for the Cardinals to potentially get somebody there. The wide receiving core needs an absolute upgrade. Like, it needs an absolute facelift. The Cardinals wide receiving core. And I know there's some fans out there that are saying that they do want to bring back Marquise Hollywood Brown. If that's the case and the Cardinals do bring him back, cool. I mean, that's fine. As long as a team-friendly deal and a 1-year prove-it deal, I'm cool with it, right? I'm not against bringing back Marquise. It's just the idea of I'm hoping the Cardinals really do take a different approach in building out this wide receiving core, right? I'm looking for that big bodied, over 6 foot, wide receiving core, right? That's what I'm looking for kind of moving forward. Your Larry Fitzgerald, your Michael Floyds, right? Your Anquan Boldens, those type of wide receivers are going to be getting you those contested catch. Now I get it. I put Michael Floyd in the same conversation of Anquan and Larry Fitzgerald. I get it. They're not the same players, but those are the type of players that I'm looking for the Cardinals to potentially go after in this offseason. And I'm really hoping that we're going to be getting a massive offseason. I truly do, because this wide receiving core is just not it. Right? It just ain't it. Now, honestly, Michael Wilson has had a pretty good rookie season for the Cardinals. He actually mustered up 565 yards, 38 receptions, 3 touchdowns. So I think he had a pretty respectable rookie season. Nothing to get, too crazy on, but it still needs to be upgraded. Even if Michael Wilson becomes the second wide receiver or maybe slotted to number 3, it needs to be upgraded. It absolutely does. So we'll see what happens there. Rondale Moore, he's had some flashes here and there, but we've seen a lot of Rondale Moore, right? He was picked up in the second round back in 2021, and he's never really been that guy that a lot of people were hoping he was going to be. I never was big on Rondale Moore because I'm not going to lie to you. When we drafted Rondale Moore, I was like, oh boy, here's another Andy Isabella, another situation. And I remember a lot of people being very, very upset with me saying that, but we're kind of here, right? We're kind of here right now, and it's not really proven to be a great pickup in the second round, which is very disappointing. Zach Pascal, Caden Davis, it needs a facelift, man. This wide receiving core needs a facelift. I would rather have Greg Dortch as our slot guy as opposed to Rondale Moore, but I understand why the Cardinals choose Rondale Moore. And it's because obviously the second round tender, and they really want to make sure that he works out. So it's unfortunate, but I would rather see Greg Dortch in the slot position over Rondale Moore personally. The tight end group, I'm cool with the tight end group. I like the idea of Trey McBride being that number 1 dog. I do like Elijah Higgins. I think there's some flashes here and there of what we've seen from him. He's had some crucial drops as well and some crucial mistakes, but if you have a tight end 1, that's all you can really kind of ask for. Our entirety of our offensive line, man, does that need a facelift too? We need help, man. We need absolute help. Now, I don't know if you guys checked out my last mock draft, and I know there were some people out there that were upset because I ended up getting Malik Neighbors with the 4th overall spot, and somebody was like, you should trade back, you should do this, you should do that. And I get it, right? The Cardinals can go any which way, but I think it's very important to focus on the idea of, yes, I still got a wide receiver in that first round, but also, my mind process was the trenches. The trenches needs to be addressed regardless of what it is, right? The offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. And you can see that with what our roster what the roster looks like here for the offensive line. DJ Humphries was moved to IR. That's a huge knock. And I get it. He seems to be regressing in his age, but left tackles don't grow on trees in the grand scheme of things. But if you look at our starters, man, it's crazy. Will Hernandez had a pretty good right guard not career, but year for the Cardinals. So I'm not going to be too mad at Will Hernandez, but the right side was my favorite part. I'm not going to lie. The right side of the line was my favorite part with Paris Johnson and Will Hernandez. And that's literally the opposite of what you need, especially if you're trying to protect your quarterback that's right-handed. The left side is his blind spot. So you really need somebody to be there in the left side to really kind of help them out, right? Now, when DJ Humphries was hurt, I believe Kelvin Beachum was the guy that was really getting the dosage of the snaps. Elijah Wilkinson was supposed to be our starter, but we ended up, I guess, using Tristan Colon. And then for Holt, which, respect to respect's due. He held it down as much as he possibly can, but he's not the center of the future for the Arizona Cardinals. And it's very, very obvious, right? So that whole offensive line needs a facelift. The defensive line, I'm not even going to start in terms of where I'm excited about. The only thing I'm really excited about this defensive line is seeing a second year BJ Ojulari, and then Dante Stills. That's it. I like the guys that we brought in, like your Carlos Watkins. I think he showed some promise, but he was moved to IR very soon. Jonathan Ledbetter has shown to be pretty good, but he was moved to IR. Literally, those are the only two players on the defensive side of the ball in the trenches that I'm excited about. Dante Stills, which was a rookie this last year, and BJ Ojulari, which was a rookie as well. So another position that needs to get an absolute facelift. So it's absolutely wild to see where we are at right now. So like for the people out there that are jumping on, my mock draft, and I get it. I love it. Honestly, bring the criticism because that's exactly what I love. I love the idea of getting new ideas. I love hearing what people were thinking in terms of what I was thinking. I could be very well wrong, but I loved it. People were like, no, you should go after Olufashanu or you should go for Joe O. I love it. Honestly, I think those are really, really good ideas for the Arizona Cardinals. But as of right now, just look at this roster. It's just so bad. And then if you're looking at the middle linebacking position, Kazir White, like he's really the only guy that I'm really excited about. We got some young people that showed some promise. Christ Barnes did some pretty good things. We didn't really see a lot of Owen Papu, which was a rookie this year as well, but just not really exciting there, man. Our corners, boy, the only position on defense that's I feel confident with is safety. Like that's it. That's the only position. That's the only position that I feel complete confident with. Now, I do see my guy here with no F's given says trade more. I just don't know if the Cardinals will be able to trade more. His value would be very, very bad. Now, at this point, if you just want to get rid of him, I agree. Just trade him, right? Just get rid of him because we could use Greg Dortch and pay him on a cheaper deal than a Rondo Moore. But obviously right now with Rondo Moore being under contract still, it might not make too much sense. You could still maybe use him for a punt returner or maybe on special teams if that's what the Cardinals choose to do. But man, it's crazy, man. It really is crazy. The only position I feel complete 100% confident in the defense is going to be the safeties with Buddha and then Jalen Thompson. So as you can tell, right, my mind process in terms of doing this latest mock draft was trenches, right? Bolster those guys up, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. It's just, it's really bad. It's not a good roster, and it needs to be put together very, very smartly. And I do trust Monty. I think Monty and Jonathan Gannon are going to be putting us in the right position because, let's call it like it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't have faith that these guys are going to be able to do it, then why are you watching, right? At the end of the day, we got to make sure that we do put full confidence in this guy. He's not really shown anything otherwise other than supporting what this regime is going to do. This last year that we had with Monty, I'm not going to put it too much on him, right? I don't think I'm going to put it too much on him in fact of, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. I truly do think deep down that Michael Bidwell was truly trying to recoup a lot of things that happened in the last couple years that he was trying to kind of recoup some money back. Truly. This year needs to be different, man. And it can be different. It absolutely can be different. Now, we don't have an explosive amount of money, and I get the Cardinals can make some more room, but as of right now, and I've seen somebody on the comments saying, well, I heard we're going to have $80 million. I never said the Cardinals were going to have $80 million. Right now, I've always been flirting around the idea of the Cardinals having anywhere between $40 to $50 million. Now, the Cardinals can open up more room if they choose to do so to restructure some contracts. The Cardinals can put themselves in a good position. They just got to go out here and make these right moves, right? I'm not expecting this offseason for the Cardinals to get, all these big names, right? I'm not expecting that. And I don't think anybody should be expecting that, but at least we should be able to get one or two big names, right? One or two names that are really going to solidify those positions, right? Kind of like a Kazir White. Who would have known Kazir White was going to be that good? I didn't know that. I had no idea who Kazir White was. But when I saw him play, I was like, This guy has some really good oomph. This guy brings some physicality to this defense, and that's definitely something that you would really, really love to see, right? Especially with Buda Baker playing the same way and change the narrative of Purdy boy football, right? So that's what I really like. I love the Kazir White signing. Zach Pascal, on the other hand, I get why he was brought in, but man didn't do anything. Man did nothing for the Arizona Cardinals. Nothing. And I'm curious to figure out where the Cardinals go from here because anybody want to guess what Zach Pascal's 2023 stats were? Anybody want to guess? Let me know here in the chat. Anybody want to guess what Zach Pascal's 2023 stats were? Anybody? I'll let you know right now. Now, I don't 100% blame Zach Pascal, so this is not a bashing on Zach Pascal stream. This is not what this is going to be, right? He didn't get a lot of opportunity at the end of the day. He didn't get a lot of opportunity. It was a lot of Michael Wilson. It was a lot of Marquise when he was healthy. A lot of Rondell Moore. But Zach Pascal was 4 receptions, 19 yards. 19 yards. Ladies and gentlemen, 19 yards. And like I said, it's not his fault. This is not I'm bashing on Zach Pascal stream. No, it's not. I don't think it's 100% his fault, right? But like if he was one of the caliber names that you're bringing in for your free agency, it's just, it didn't work, man. It didn't work. I don't know what the Cardinals plans are for the future or what Zach Pascal is going to entail, because I think he actually had a 2-year contract, if I'm not mistaken, with the Cardinals. Let me just double check real quick, but it might be one of those contracts where the Arizona Cardinals could potentially cut ties with him. Let's actually double check. Let's take a look to see. Yeah, so Zach Pascal was on a 2-year deal, 2023 and 2024, but like we're talking about like low numbers. He was on a $3 million 2-year deal? No, I apologize. $4.5 million. So like it's not very much. It's not very much in terms of like what we got him for. So yeah, it's not good, man. Not good. 4 receptions, 19 yards ain't gonna cut it. And he was seen to be our big wide receiver. he was the wide receiver over 6 foot, right? And I think people were kind of hopefully, fingers crossed, that we're going to be able to kind of revive this guy. But now it just didn't work out. But like I said, it's not all his fault. His opportunity really wasn't there for the Cardinals. So it seemed like we were definitely going with the young movement more than anything. And that's okay, right? That's completely fine. I'm just curious to figure out what is going to happen with Zach. He might get cut. He might get cut. Yeah, he might get cut. We'll see, though. Let me take a look to see what his snap count was pertaining to Zach. Yeah, Zach didn't really not. Yep. Zach had less than 30% of snaps. He only exceeded 30% one time, and that was on week 9. That's it. The only time he exceeded more than 30% of snaps was on week 9, and that was 60%. That's it. But we're talking about 8%, 35%, 23%, 30%, 8%, 18%, 14%, 10%, right? 22, 27. And I get it. But, man, it needs to be changed, man. Something needs to happen. He was primarily used in run blocking. Doesn't need to be back, though. Yeah, I agree. I think the Cardinals' plan is to upgrade this wide receiving core. And if that's the case, there's just more room for him not to be used again, right? If we were primarily using him for run blocking, which makes sense, right? Over 6 foot, makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. But yeah, there's really no reason for him to be back, because right now the Cardinals are projected to have be able to get a wide receiver in this first round, whether it's that 4th overall spot or the Cardinals maybe get somebody in the 27th. I would rather them use that 4th overall spot for a Malik Neighbors, maybe trade back and still acquire yourself a Roma Dunze, or maybe they feel frisky. Maybe they use that 4th overall to get Malik Neighbors, or obviously the obvious choice is Marvin Harrison Jr. if he's there, obviously, right? So if the Cardinals do that and maybe they upgrade a position in free agency, which is also a possibility as well, there really is no room for Zach Pascal to kind of take up room in this roster, if that makes sense. So yeah, we'll see. Somebody on the chat says, I'd say just cut him so Brian Burns can wear number 0 next year. Yeah, I mean, Brian Burns would be nice. Very, very nice. But that's the thing. Like we're living in a world right now where the Cardinals' biggest need in ed is ed. Well, not biggest need. I apologize. Let me reframe that back. We have a lot of needs. An intriguing, exciting piece would be bringing in an edge player, right? Bringing in an edge player for the Arizona Cardinals. That would definitely be very, very exciting. And there's a lot of good edge players coming out this year in free agency. Whether you're Brian Burns or Josh Allen from Jacksonville, and I believe Bryce Huff from the Jets. So like there's some really good players that are going to be hitting the open market. So why not get an opportunity here, right? Why not an opportunity for the Cardinals to go after a potential guy? So yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm really am. What's up, Marco? Marco says, I hope Monty really wants Marvin Harrison Jr., and it's not Michael Bidwell's decision as to why he gets drafted here. Well, I mean, this is a good comment. I see where you're coming from. The thing is that when you're looking at Marvin Harrison Jr., and we've said this before in multiple streams, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, right? I think we've talked all last week about potential moves to get Marvin, right? And I think we all kind of know where everybody's at. The thing with Marvin Harrison Jr. is that he's number one in most people's draft boards. And we're talking about the guys that really know, right? Like the gurus of the draft, right? Now I get it. A lot of these gurus miss a lot of the times, right? But when you're talking about a consensus, Marvin Harrison Jr. is top 3 in everybody's draft board, right? Whether you say it's quarterback, Marvin, quarterback, but he's up there. He's seen to be generational as it gets. And I get it. That word is being thrown around everywhere, and I'm 100% right there with you. But it's what it is. If Monty doesn't want Marvin Harrison Jr. And he's there, there's an opportunity to second guess what are we doing, right? Because if the idea is to build the trenches, we still can trade up. The 27th overall spot can be trade up still. Or the Cardinals can use that 27th overall to potentially go after a guy in somebody else's team. Would I want that? No. But the options are open, right? Like the trenches can be addressed. It doesn't have to be through the draft. It can be through free agency. It can be through trade. We got like 10 plus picks this year, right? We got all these picks. We might as well use it in the best of our ability. So I hope Monty wants Marvin Harrison Jr. And like I said, if he doesn't, there's definitely going to be some question marks around the idea of why wouldn't you get a guy, especially in a position that you need, right? Especially, it's not like we don't need wide receiver. We need it. We need wide receiver. We need offensive line. We need defensive line. We need cornerback. We need everything. So like, if he's there, you got to get him. You absolutely do got to get him. Somebody on the chat says, I want Marvin Harrison Jr. and Turner. I think you're talking about Dallas Turner. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I think he's going to be gone. I mean, like I said, the Cardinals can turn up. They can trade up. They can trade up. They absolutely can trade up. It's just, right? This offseason has been so crazy quiet. So crazy quiet. Like the Cardinals have nothing, no news, absolutely nothing. And I do appreciate you guys for obviously rocking with me right now. Right now we got like 18 likes on the stream. Appreciate you guys obviously for tuning in. If you guys could do me a huge favor, smack up that like button, do it for the algorithm, do it for the other Cardinal fans that do not know that the stream is existing. So definitely smack it up if you guys haven't done so already. But like, I appreciate you guys, honestly. You guys chilling here talking Cardinals. It ain't easy. It ain't easy being a Cardinals fan, right? We got back-to-back 4-win teams or seasons. Back-to-back, right? And I get it. Cardinal fans are turned off right now. We're thinking Suns. We're thinking of the Phoenix Suns right now. We're also thinking about the Arizona Diamondbacks starting back up here as well. So like, there's a lot more to think about other than the Arizona Cardinals. So I absolutely do appreciate you guys for obviously just tuning in and chopping it up here in the chat. But like, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, Zach Pascal has had 4 receptions, 19 yards this season, and we do need to get a wide receiving core facelift for sure. Somebody in the chest, what about the Rattlers? Yeah, anything. Anything that distracts you from this organization. Anything. So, but obviously there's going to be some news obviously dropping in March. This is the last week of football in terms of NFL football. I'm not sure if you guys are going to be watching the UFL, but that's going to be the new spring football league that was merged together. So that would be kind of exciting to potentially see. But the Arizona doesn't have a team, so it's not really too much skin in the game. But this is the last week, y'all. This is the last week of football before, our Sundays are going to be drastically different. And I think, obviously, we're excited, or at least a portion of the group is excited to see what this Cardinals organization is going to do moving forward, because we need to do something. It's hard to constantly see your division rivals in the playoffs. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to see your division rivals in the playoffs time in and time again, right? When the Seahawks were supposed to be going through a rebuild, they were still a playoff caliber team. It's crazy. Like, why not the Cardinals? Why can't we be that, And I'm hoping Monty's going to be able to be the guy to put us in a consistently relevant type of team. I'm hoping so. What's up, Quinn? Quinn says, let's go Cardinals to the moon next year. I hope so, brother. Hope so. Aaron says, I'm jumping on the train. Keep putting out decent content and I'll follow along. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so very much, Aaron. Yeah, I mean, this is what we got right now, man. It's what we got. Obviously, we got just the draft, which I think most people are excited about the draft than free agency. And I don't blame you. Like, we have $42 million, which is still a pretty good amount of money. It's not the most. It's not like we're talking about we have $90 million, right? We don't have that much. The Cardinals can continue to make moves to open that up, but in the grand scheme of things here, ladies and gentlemen, we're as draft content, as draft season, baby, draft season. I ended up putting a poll question not too long ago. I think 6 days ago. I ended up asking you guys. I said, "Are you more excited for free agency, the draft, or both?" We had over 1,000 votes. 1,000 votes, and 55% says the draft, 9% says free agency, and 36% says both. So, like, there's not really excitement for free agency for Cardinal fans, and that's fine. I'm right there with you, man. The draft is exactly what I'm excited about too, man. You cannot not be excited about having multiple picks in the top 100, right? And 2 first-round picks. You're ready to build this up here real good. When does free agency start? So free agency technically starts, I believe it's like mid-March. Let me get the exact date. The exact date for free agency is going to be... So the turnover of the new year, it's always on a Wednesday. Usually it's March the 13th. But you do get some news around March 11th. So like that Monday, the Tuesday, you still do get news, but the official start of free agency is March the 13th is the official start. But I've been doing this for quite some time. And yeah, you do still get news that Monday and Tuesday. But yeah, March 13th is the official turnover start of the new year, technically. What's up, Julio? Julio says, win or lose, but please, for the love of God, win. Exactly. That's what we're all at right now, man. That's where we're all at. So my guy up here says that Sunday availability is about to open up. Absolutely. No more fantasy. No more betting on NFL teams, right? No more crying into a pillow because the Cardinals are losing. We get some stress-free. But yes, 100%. Sundays are definitely going to be available for my family as well. So it's going to be cool. I'm excited. This is the last week of football because we got the Super Bowl coming up here pretty soon. I'm really excited about that. Somebody in the chat says thinks Buddha's going to re-sign. I hope he does. I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything at all. All I know is that Buddha Baker is on his last year and he doesn't have guaranteed money. So that's a little concerning. That's the only thing that I know. I haven't heard anything. Buddha Baker's never one to be too much into the tabloids, not throwing his, dirty laundry out there. It happened once, but like, I don't think he's that guy is going to consistently do it again. So I hope he does. But if the Cardinals don't, then they need to figure out what to do, right? Because that's really the only position I'm confident in on that defense is that defensive line. The only position that I'm confident in this defensive line is that safety position. So we'll see. Whose stock will rise after the combine and who should we keep an eye on? There's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people, honestly. Like I'm going to be covering the combine too. So if you guys do not know, I'm going to be, that combine is going to be it's going to be a lot of content on the combine, just pertaining to like kind of risers and who the Cardinals should go after or maybe potential names. So obviously TBD, make sure you have your post notification bell on and all the different stuff. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of combine content coming our way as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. So we got a couple weeks of not very much information, right? Not much news, but end of February is when combine. And then we got March with free agency. And then we got the draft here in the last part of April. So super excited. Got to stand behind K1 though, bro. Most talented QB we've drafted here. Drafted, yes, I could agree with that for sure. It's not like, here's the thing, like the Arizona Cardinals are going to be able to make the decision, right? All we can do here as fans is look to see what they do. And obviously we're all going to have opinions in it in the grand scheme of things. Was I impressed from last year? I wasn't not impressed. I've seen flashes and I remembered why Kyler Murray was obviously taken first overall, but we need to see that more, right? We need to see a healthy dosage of Kyler Murray for a full entirety of the year. And we need to see Kyler Murray back when we were, was it 2021 when we were undefeated? We need to see that type of Kyler Murray. Now, obviously we need to build around him and get him the weapons as well and get him an offensive line that's going to hold up. 100% agree. But yeah, it's up to Kyler at this point. That's it. It's up to Kyler. So we know that just as Calais Campbell's too old to come back. Calais Campbell's up there. I like Calais Campbell, man. I'm very it's very unfortunate that Calais Campbell couldn't stay a Cardinal. But he's 37, man. He's 37 years old right now. But I mean, he's still producing though. I mean, I think in the Falcons, he's still at 6.5 sacks. This man's a tree. But he's probably one of my favorite Cardinals we drafted. Calais Campbell, man, one of the most friendliest Giants out there. 6.5 sacks. He's 37 years old, and he's going to be 38. He's going to be 38 this year, man. So if the Cardinals do decide to bring him back, obviously it's probably going to be like a 1-year deal, kind of come back, buddy, type of thing. But the Cardinals really missed out, man. They should have brought him back, and that should have been a big focal piece for the Cardinals moving forward. Like, it's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Some of the chess. I'm on the K1 team. So many other quarterbacks were bad last year. Kyler ended solid. All right. Let's see here. If he doesn't, I'm gonna be sad. Happy for him because he deserves more. Yeah. I think when we look at Buddha, we see Larry, right? We see Larry when we think of Buddha. I think we all think deep down that the Buddha does obviously deserve more. I agree with it. I just hope that deserve more stays with the Cardinals because we can obviously use his help. What are you doing for the Super Bowl? I'm going to have family over, man. I'm going to have family over. We're going to come out here, party it up. I'll be excited and, kind of celebrate football for the last weekend. Is what I do every single year. I'm really excited about bringing family. We're going to be doing a cookout, all this different stuff. So I'm super, super excited. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to do the same and just kind of, overall just enjoy the day. And yeah, we got a lot of good things here, man. And so, I'm just happy to be able to do what I am able to do, right? Cover my favorite team, talk about football. Like it's crazy. So appreciate you guys for being able to actually tune in and just chop it up, man. It's cool. This is just a chill stream. That's what we're doing. We're just chilling today. Cliff did some bad damage to Kyler's game. Let him play under JG and get his feet under. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I was one of the biggest advocates out there of getting rid of Cliff. For the simple reason of just not being able to adjust, man. Like we're only able to be as good as our coaches and the players are going to allow us to be, right? In terms of a team, in the grand scheme of things, is one of the main reasons why I wanted Cliff gone. It's just his offense wasn't going to work unless he was going to be able to evolve his offense. And for the 4 years, it was the same thing. 99.9% of the time, spread it out, right? And I know that's all he knows. But like, if you want to adjust, you gotta evolve, and he just wasn't able to evolve. Kudos for him to get in that OC job, but it's not our problem anymore. Wash your hands. Let's see what the second year of Drew Petzing and Kyler Murray can do, because Kyler can make the throws. That's the thing. He has the tools. The only knock on Kyler is, can he see over the line? Like, that's the only knock. But he can make the throws. He can get out of the pocket. He can do all the things that we all need him to do. But the thing is that, like, it's hard to play a different type of football, right? And he's been doing shotgun all his life, so he's making this change, and I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I'm excited to see what happens there. Never moving D-Hop was a sin. I'll stand behind Kyler when he plays a full consistent season. That's fair, and I think that's the thing too. Or I guess that's a knock on Kyler too, is that can he stay healthy, right? That's the only knock. Can he stay healthy? We haven't seen it. So we need him to be able to stay healthy, but we also do need to fix that line too, the grand scheme of things. So, all right, y'all, we're going to be closing up shop. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, by the way. Like I said, this was just a chill hangout type of stream today. Obviously, I'm still rocking my K1 jersey, probably one of my favorite ones, and I still haven't upgraded to the new jerseys yet. Maybe this coming off season, where maybe we draft a Romo Dunze, or maybe we draft a Malik Neighbors, or maybe we draft a Marvin Harrison Jr. I'll be rocking a new jersey. So fingers crossed, we'll see exactly what happens. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know this random chill stream here on a Friday. I think we're all excited about this coming off season. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Everybody that was getting involved here in the chat, thank you so very much. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you guys. In the description of this video, you got all sorts of sponsors. If you guys do want to dabble in the sports world in terms of sports betting, we do got a brand new sports book, and that is Desert Diamond Sports. Yes, that is Desert Diamond Casino. They got their own sports book. We did recently partner with them, so check them out here on the description below, as well as if you do like daily fantasy, check out Underdog Fantasy. I'll get you some initial deposit, and then if you want to get some merch or anything like that, some Cardinals gear or anything, right? If you're a fan of a different team, you can also jump on FOCO and use promo code AZ Sports and get yourself 10% off. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure. Yes, I just got here. Apologize, man. No worries. Rewatch it. All right, yeah, we talked a lot today. Thank you so very much for tuning in. As always, like I said before, it's been an absolute pleasure. Have a great rest of your day, and as always, go back.